Hey everyone, welcome back to the Anderson Bros Outdoors. I'm Jake, and today we are going to go over this beautiful masterpiece here. So we have the Traxxas controller, and then we have the TRX4. You're probably thinking, that's not a TRX4, and you would be absolutely wrong. It is half TRX4. Without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, everyone. So what we have here is a NegativeG chassis that we purchased specifically for the TRX4. It is the TC-V1. It is actually right there, stamped in the frame rail. It's not really stamped, it's laser engraved, so you always know what truck it is that you got. We're going to do this review a little differently. I do have the package opening video to showcase what the package and its contents look like, but that's going to be at the end. With that being said, so what is this truck? This is essentially a stock TRX4 Sport that has been converted to this NegativeG low center gravity build. If you go onto the NegativeG website, it'll be in the description below. You can see they have four different variants of, we'll say, a low center gravity builds. They have a class 1 variant, which is specifically for the skid plate here. You have to meet SORCA rules for class 1, and the skid plate design they have in that chassis meets that compliance. They have 3 other chassis as well. They are all 3 low center gravity builds. One of them is for the Capra, another one is for the Traxxas TRX4, and then finally there's one for the SCX series, so the SCX 10, 2, 3, etc. You could actually probably use that one for the Vanquish as well, the Phoenix kit, whether it's a straight axle or portal. I'm sure that it will work. Those are currently out of stock, but never fear, we're going to get one of those too when they come back into stock. So let's go over a little bit about the truck and why I chose to do this. The stock TRX4 Sport it does pretty good. We have plenty of video on the channel covering the stock TRX4, but it just doesn't compete in the class 2 area. Like if you were to go compete in a class 2 rock crawler competition, you would probably not be in the top 10 unless there were 10 people or less competing. The intent behind NegativeG's build, or chassis if you will, is to give you that edge to compete and be competitive when you are doing competitions. Before I get started, let's talk about the requirements of it. So as long as you have the stock TRX4 Sport kit with all of your electronics, so your receiver, your remote, your servo, your battery, and your ESC and motor, it should work. Now, there are 2 flavors of this kit. There is an extended skid version and there is a regular skid version. So let me tell you what that means. The extended skid version is actually using a short barrel motor, a shorter than a 540 or 550 motor. So what that looks like is this motor here. So you can see right here, this is the motor, and it is probably 1 inch or 1.5 inches long, and it is a Holmes revolver. So the extended skid, and the reason that it's called the extended skid, and this is where you could get confused, is that the skid is actually longer or extended here for the battery. So the battery sits as close to the front as possible, and then also as low as it can for the LCG effect. Now, however, if you purchase the kit with the non-extended skid, you can put a regular 540 or 550 motor in it, such as the Fusion or Fusion Pro. Funny story, I actually ordered the non-extended kit and I got the extended kit. No big deal. I was able to acquire the appropriate motor and put it in there. Just note, if you get the extended skid model, you will not be able to use a 2-in-1 motor, which is what I had planned on doing. So you will have to run dedicated ESC and potentially a external voltage regulator for the receiver and the servo. Just some things to keep in mind. With that being said, what's left of the Traxxas? Well, that's a great question. The only thing that's left of the Traxxas are the axles, the links, and the shocks. That is it. Everything else is provided by NegativeG. The kit is $330-ish. Price will be right here. It is a little steep until you realize everything that you're getting. You do get a carbon chassis, and then you get some very, very high quality 3D printed parts in it. So you get the bumpers, you get your stock TRX4 mounts, so you can reutilize the mounts from your TRX4. And then you also get a very nice motor mount with your spur gear. So it comes with the spur gear. It also comes with the drive shaft going into your transfer case. You have a dedicated motor up here with your spur gear, and then you also have a dedicated transfer case, which is really cool, right? It does come with all of that stuff, and it also comes with the hardware to put it all together. So all you need to do is pull the axles, the links, the shocks, and your electronics out of your TRX4 Sport, and then build this kit, shove it in there, and you're off to the races, or should I say competitions. Overall, really impressed. The kit is good. A lot of people are moving to selling 3D printed kits and parts and things like that, and I will tell you, most of the time, you got to be skeptical of that, because you can 3D print at home and you see the quality of some of your prints, and some of it kind of sucks. But NegativeG's got it figured out. I don't know what printer they're using, but it looks very good. I'm going to go over some things that I like about the kit real quick, and then I'm going to go over some things that I don't like about the kit. Some things that I like. Quality is really good. The carbon looks really good. The edges look sealed. Everything is exactly how they pictured it. The instructions, phenomenal. I think that Traxxas and Axial and all of these other manufacturers, they need to take a page out of NegativeG's book, because their book is perfection. It tells you exactly what you need to do in the order that you need to do it, and it's very concise. It is very hard to mess it up, I promise you. I really like that about it as well. I mean, other than that, it is an LCG chassis. I don't have a ton of time playing with it yet, so I'm not going to review its performance at this time, but that's coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. With that being said, I am very happy with how they placed everything. The only thing that I would maybe change is the servo, so I would mount it vertically instead of horizontally, but that's just me being nitpicky. I think that it performs how it needs to perform in a horizontal fashion. So everything else is phenomenal. It goes together with ease. The extended skid for the motor, I mean, it's just, everything is perfect. I haven't weighed it yet, and I don't think I'm going to, because it just wouldn't be fair. And the reason I say that is because I do have brass outer portals and the outer portal covers in the rear, and I have full portal cover brasses in the front, and then also the front drive shaft is brass, and so is the diff cover. So it's not going to be a very fair comparison, and I don't think that I'm going to do it at this time. I may do it in the future if I get some stock axles and throw them on there just to see what it is out of the box. For the time being, sorry, no wait. Everything else is good. One thing that is very interesting though is if you notice here, on the passenger side, the third link for the axle is actually on the outside, which I thought was very interesting, because normally you want to keep this link inside of the chassis rails, but it is not. And then after putting it together, I realized that the reason for that is because it would hit the motor and the spur gear if it was on the inside. Very, very good attention to detail. I really like it. So overall, I'm very, very happy with the truck. There is one thing that I do not like about this kit, and that is the hardware. Immediately throw all of the hardware away and buy better hardware. 2mm hex and not 1.5mm or 1mm or whatever this is, because I stripped out 3 or 4 different screws immediately, and I was not even using the drill. Definitely a lot to be desired in the quality of hardware that they use, but it is what it is. I think I would probably give that a 0.5 star knockoff. So overall, with the packaging was 5 stars. The ease of installation, the ease of use with everything, with the exception of the hardware, was probably 4.5. So because of the hardware, had it had hardware that didn't strip out, I would have given it a 5 out of 5 all day, every day. Very, very impressed. And I'm not a huge Traxxas fan. NegativeG has really kind of converted me, because this kit is just simply that good. I think that really covers my first impression and my likes and dislikes with everything involved. We'll cover what I chose to put in the truck in terms of electronic. I have a Reefs 444 servo up front. It gets the job done. I have a Mamba Micro X2 with a external voltage regulator going into the stock TRX4 Sport receiver. I have the voltage for the receiver and the servo set to 7.5 volts, so I can get a little more juice out of the servo. I will have all of these things listed in the build below on the website, so it'll be linked down low. And then for the motor, I chose to do a Holmes Revolver motor. It is a 2000 kV motor. And then for the battery, I always go with the Z batteries, so that really sums it up. There is one thing to keep in mind. With using this transfer case in the middle, it does shorten the length, or really the width of where the stock transmission would be. So what that equates to is you will likely need to buy new drive shafts. I did take it out for a test spin. I've got a short video on it. Feel free to check that out on the shorts. But when I was driving it, you can see that I have this awesome zip tie here. Well, the drive shaft fell out of the front. I was like, what's going on here? The front wheels weren't turning. I was hearing a bunch of banging around, and well, yeah, come to find out, the center section of the drive shaft had fell out because the droop caused too much space between the drive shaft. So you will likely need to either purchase new drive shafts, or you will need to get longer inserts for the drive shaft itself. You know, the part that gives you the slip yoke, the slip portion of the drive shaft. Anyway, not an expert. The drive shafts will be something that you will have to keep in mind. This zip tie is not permanent, so feel free to heckle me in the comments below. It is what it is. I will order some incision drive shafts or something for it, so that way I can utilize it in the very near future. I'm still going to run it with the zip tie. I don't care. So now in terms of body, right? So what am I going to do with the body on this? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned on that for the actual run and review. So there you have it, folks. This is the NegativeG TRX4 low center gravity chassis kit. I hope that you liked the video. Please like and subscribe, share, and also click the notification, to support the channel. We really appreciate it. Immediately after this, you will see the unboxing. With that being said, have a great day.